Hey, this is Pastor Pete with What Do You Want? You know, most people know more about what they don't want than what they actually do want. Today I want to give you the third reason that some people don't know what they want. The third reason why they don't know what they want, and it's this. Oftentimes, you can be too scared that you're going to look selfish. You're scared of looking like you're selfish. When the fact is, maybe you're not selfish. It's just something inside of you that is too worried about what other people think. Now, sometimes I think this is actually more an issue that can affect women than men. Why? Well, men tend to be more individualistic. They tend to be much more macho-driven. Not always, but it's a generalization. Where women tend to be much more attuned to social responsibility. They're much more attuned to putting others first. But sometimes it's not so much a person is putting others first because they think that's the right thing, but because they're too scared of actually looking selfish. Now, of course, this can actually also be born out of just your personality. Maybe you're much more of a deferential person. Maybe you're much more meek, and Jesus even said, "Blessed are the meek." Maybe you're more likely to go along just to get along. Maybe you're also the type of person who over-examines yourself and worries about, what are people going to think about this? Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? And even saying the word no can be very hard and challenging for you. But you know, I really do believe that people need to find a freedom to be able to ask for what they want, because the Bible tells us, ask and it shall be given unto you. In fact, sometimes whenever I'm speaking to people, I've come across a person where they'll go, you know, I was wondering if it's possible that, you know, I don't want to put you out, and please feel free to say no. I don't want you to feel like you're under pressure, and there's no pressure whatsoever, but I was wondering if maybe, and I feel so bad for asking for this. And before they've even asked for what they want, they've already set it up where they have decided that they're asking too much, that they're putting me out. When the fact is, they're just really scared of looking selfish. Because I could say no, I could say, sorry, it doesn't work for me. I'm free to do that. But they feel too bad for making someone else feel bad. You know, sometimes what happens is, if you have this fear of looking too selfish, you then take on burdens and you don't get the things that you actually want, when God has already asked us, tell me what it is that you want. If we're willing to do that with people, then they're very likely to do it with God as well. A few years ago, I was in Europe and I was speaking at a conference with pastors, and it was a pastors' conference where I was talking about what to do in order to lead as pastors, as a man and a wife and a couple. And I obviously had brought up a few questions that had sparked interest in some people's minds. And afterwards, I was asked to speak with quite a few couples. And I'll never forget this one couple that I was having a conversation with. And they were talking about the tensions that they have in their family, in their church, etc., etc. And I always come to this question. I always ask people, well, tell me what it is that you want. You've told me everything that you don't want. You've told me the pain. You've told me the trials and the tribulations and difficulties that you have. But what is it that you want? And so I actually asked her, I said, what do you want? And she said, well, I'm here just to support my husband. And I said, I know that, but what do you want? And she was very hesitant to tell me what it was that she wanted. And I asked her a while, I teased it out of her, and it turned out that she just wanted to do business. She loved doing business. She loved supporting the family by making money. And I said, why don't you do that? And she goes, because I have to be a pastor's wife. And I said, who's told you that? And she said, well, that's what's expected of me. And I said, who's expected that of you? I was hoping she would say her husband or church or community or something. And it got down to that I wasn't really too clear why she thought that or felt that. And maybe it was her community, maybe it was her husband. So I turned to her husband and I said, do you want to support her in doing the things that she wants to do? And he said, yes. And I said, do you support her in going after the thing that she really wants to do, which is business? And he said, I didn't even know that's what she really loved to do. And I said, so I need you to tell your wife that you support her in this. And so he did. Now, I don't know what's happened from then on, but I say that to show you an example of sometimes we have this pressure and challenge to worry about what other people are thinking because we feel like we're going to be too selfish. Today I want to encourage you. I want you to ask God, and I want you to tell God what you want. I want you to tell Him, this is what I want. Maybe write it down. Maybe say it out loud. I want you to be bold and courageous to say what you want and forget about looking too selfish. God wants to know what you want. If you'd like to know more about this and you love to read, I actually have a book that's called What Do You Want? And I'd love you to get a hold of it so you can learn more about this, so you can discover the things that God has called you to do and put in your heart. We love you guys.